Hello, welcome to the Real Talk Live show with Arnette D. Love. And I hesitated just a moment because people be trying to copy the way I come on my show. Y'all know I like to say hello, hello, hello. And so I'm trying to change it up a little bit because you ain't gonna know me. You can't just know me. You ain't gonna know my every move and how I'm coming on my show and all that stuff, okay? So I had to change it up a little bit for the haters, okay? So I just wanted to talk today about, hi Takesha. The topic is, are you lonely and do you prefer to be alone? Because a lot of times you may be alone don't mean that you're lonely, all right? And then you may be lonely, but you prefer to be alone. Now, what does that mean? If you're lonely and you prefer to be alone, normally you only want to be around people when you want to be around people. Now you got to think of that. Think about that, because who in the world going to allow you to basically just use them when you want to use them? Who wants to be used, basically? Because that's all it is. Because if I only want to be around you when I want to be around you, what about when that person wants to be around me or want to be around you? I hope y'all getting this. Because, it's one-sided. A relationship can't be one-sided. And I'm talking about any kind of relationship, whether it's a friendship, more in deep relationship, associationship, if that's what you want to call it. It cannot be one-sided. All right. So when you want somebody around you, you want to be able to just call them. But then when you don't want to be bothered, you ignore them, and you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You have to be able to be there for someone else if you want someone to be there for you. So, are you lonely? So, if you're lonely, what do you do when you're lonely, but you prefer to be alone? You prefer to be by yourself. What I do, I get out of the house. I get out and I get around people, and I start doing things to take away from me feeling like I'm by myself, if I don't want to be directly in the company of someone. Okay, so I take away that feeling by going around people, going amongst folks, laughing it up, chatting it up, get me a soda, ginger ale like I drink, and calling it a day. That's what I do. The question is, what do you do? Do you call somebody over to your house and Netflix and chill and what Netflix and chill is all about, but you wait until a certain point, then you want them to leave you alone. Now, you done already consumed their time, and then now you don't want to be bothered anymore. So what's going to happen the next time that you're feeling lonely? They're not going to want to be bothered with you. So think about the things that you do. I would rather, I'm not a type of person really want you coming to my house anyway. So I would like, let's go bowling, or let's go to the movies, or let's just go out and get some wings or something like that. And so I know that I'm driving my car and they're driving their car. And once we're done, we can go separate ways if that's what we choose to do. And it doesn't look like or appear that you're using someone to occupy your time until you're done with them. We have to be mindful of the feelings of others. People have feelings. We're not the only ones that feel, we can't just use a person up and then send them on their way. Are you lonely and you prefer to be alone? You have to quench your thirst some other type of way than to take somebody's time when you're really not into that person. I have been there where, I just called on somebody because I was feeling lonely and I wanted some company, and that's all I wanted was some company. And it wasn't right for me to just take up somebody's time and not thinking about their emotions or their feelings or where they're coming from as far as why they would even spend time with me. It didn't even matter to me. It was basically what I wanted. And so now I want to put this in the atmosphere that we have to remember that just like we have feelings, other people have feelings. So we cannot take advantage of people just to satisfy our own desires, just to satisfy our own emptiness. We got to think about everybody else and how they feel when we're trying to occupy space in our lives. You can't just use people up. So if you're lonely, what do you do? What is your course of actions when you're sitting by yourself and you're lonely? And I never say really alone because I don't believe we're ever alone. Y'all know me. And so, but sometimes you do get that feeling where I want some company around. And you know what? It's nothing wrong with just telling the individual, hey, listen, I'm not doing anything. I'm a little bored. I just want a little company. What you think about us going to the show or going to the movie, the theater or whatever's going on, you know? What do you think about us catching the ferry over to the other side? How about that? You know, just to see how they feel. They understand. You have already told them that you're bored. You told them that you're lonely. You're feeling a little empty inside and you need to do something. And let them decide whether or not they want to spend that time with you. And 9 times out of 10, if you're a good person, you treat people well, they'd be like, yeah, I'll ride over to the other side with you, catch the ferry. We can go over there and get some, you know, wings. Y'all, what's it, wings? And a soda pop or something like that, you know. But it's all in how you treat people. Okay, you can't treat people as if they are, you know, just an option for you. You know, just when let me see who I'm going to call today because I don't feel like being bothered all the time, but I'm going to call this person today and see what they want to do. No, you can't do that to people. You can't do that. And I want to put that on the front street because a lot of times we don't even realize that we're treating people as an option. We don't realize that we're calling people in just to occupy a desire that we have, just to satisfy our needs. So we have to remember how we treat people is how they're going to respond to us. If a person knows that you only call when you need something, they're going to stop responding. And let me give you this example. Okay, for instance, for the younger people that watch my shows, when you only call when you need some coins, eventually those calls will not be answered. Eventually we're gonna see your number and be like, here, I want that but some money. And we're not going to answer your call because we know that at the end of your call, in the middle, or probably in the beginning, it's going to come with a cash out request. And so we stop because when you can't call to see how a person is doing outside of you needing money, we feel like you're just trying to use us. Okay, and then not just the young ones, but I know the younger ones don't understand. So we have to tell them and train them the right way to go. You cannot, even with your parent, you cannot call your parent every time you need money and then don't call to check and see how they're doing. And then you get mad because when you call, they will not answer. When you text, they will not answer. Because the thing is, once the communication starts, it means that you're getting ready to ask for something. You're getting ready to ask for something. You don't care how it is. And, you know, let me give you all another example. You know, with my son, sometimes he gets me upset. And, you know, because I do for them all as much as I can. And so right after I do for him, the baby, then that mouth get flipped. Now, up until the time I get ready to do for him, the mouth is, yes, okay, all lovey-dovey. But right when I do it, let's say I buy him something to eat. And right after he started biting into the food that I bought, that mouth gets slid. So the other day, the mouth got slid. And I told him, you know what, I'll slap all that on that ground. Because regardless of whether you eat it or the ground eat it, I'm not going to eat it. So it don't make me one bit of difference. Get smart out your mouth again, and I'm going to slap it all out of your hand, out your face, onto the ground. One more time. So then I tell them, I said, and I tell you what, don't ask me for another damn thing, right? And so I guess he thought I was playing. No sooner than he finished up his little meal, he texted me for something, I ignored the text. He called me for something, I ignored the call because you got the wrong one. You got the right one, let's say, at the wrong time. Anyways, so I ignored him. So what happens is, this morning I'm sleeping, I feel somebody come kiss me on this side of my cheek. Don't try to butter me up in my sleep. I ain't even respond. I just turned over. I felt them. I just turned right on over. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot just use people when you want to use them. So I want to make everyone aware that when you're lonely, sometimes we try or we really don't. I don't know if you say you try, but when you're lonely, you want to fill that void. And sometimes we unknowingly or unconsciously use people to fill that void of loneliness. And so we only want them there when we want them there. But say like, I'm lonely today and tomorrow the person I called is lonely. I don't want to be bothered with them. But how did that make them feel? Because see, the reciprocity supposed to be there. What you do for me, you expect me to do for you. Okay? So if you're lonely and you always want to be alone, you got to find another way to conquer that emptiness. And like I said, I will go out. I'll go to, if I go to the little club setting that we have, just membership club, and I go in there and I chit chat and do a little karaoke and stuff just to get rid of that feeling of loneliness. Or I'll get on the phone to the people that I normally talk to, that they can call me anytime and I'll talk to them, and they know that they can talk to me. I call them up, and that fills a void as well. But one thing I don't do, I do not call people that I do not expect to be around a lot. If I don't hang in your circle, I don't call you. If I don't want to be coming to your house, I don't call you. If I don't want you calling me to come to my house, I don't call you. I don't use people. And that's one thing we have to avoid doing, and that's using people during our time of need. We have to fulfill our need doing something that we know that we will not offend anybody. It's offensive for somebody to just call you when they need you. It's offensive. It turns the whole relationship into something else, regardless of whether it's a tight relationship or not. It was just a acquaintance type of relationship. It messes that up. You cannot just call people when you want to be bothered. Man, I can't stand that. I wish somebody would be calling me just when they want to be bothered. But you know what? I have been in that position once. I would say once. You know what I'm saying? I would say once. And there was nothing intimate going on. It was just that I think somebody was a little bipolar. I really do. I think that the person was bipolar. And as long as I was initiating contact, they were, it was like, it was bare minimum, right? So then when I stopped, because I'm like, hold up, the first thing is I ain't no runner, I ain't no track star, I don't put on no tennis shoes for nobody. And so when I stopped initiating contact, that's when they started initiating contact. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's like, oh, when I'm contacting you, it's a little standoffish, but when I'm not contacting you, you're longing for me to contact you. You got me bent. Y'all remember that word? You got me bent. And so I don't know if that was a mental issue or what? I think that was more of a mental issue there. But just the same, nobody wants to be put in a position where they're being used. Hey, Ted, give me a call when you can. Nobody wants to be put in a position of where they're just being used to fulfill somebody else's needs. In a friendship, you should expect the same thing that you give. Most people do. I don't have a friendship that I don't expect the same thing that I give. Well, I can't call you friend. If I can't call you when I need, just like you can call me when you need, and if I can't call you and say, hey, meet me here and let's go here, and you can't do it to me, that's a strain on that friendship somewhere. So I use that word friendship loosely. Now, if you do things for me, let me put it this way: you got some good people that you'll never have a relationship where y'all hang out. Doesn't mean you're any less than friends. But you got some people out here that will do things for you, won't say a word, that would donate to your cause and won't say a word, don't have to plaster it all over social media. You got those type of friends, and you just have to know the magnitude of the relationship. This is this type of relationship, this is this type of relationship, and this is this type of relationship. If you know that over here that you're just associates, you just speak, and every once in a while you see each other when you're out, but you never get on the phone and chat up, or you never go out to eat and chat up, that's not the friend that you want to call when you're lonely. That's not the friend you want to call, because what happens is when you start calling that friend, they expect the ability to be able to call you back when they're lonely and when they want to chat up. And 9 times out of 10, if that's not that type of friend, you're not going to want to be around them. You're going to want to be alone. And that makes the relationship strained, because now you have started something with the friend that was only supposed to be a casual hi and bye. But you chose to call that friend because you felt a void in your life and you needed that void filled, so you called that person. So basically you just wanted to use that person because the reciprocation is not there. That person can't call you because you're not their friend like that. And so that's why you have to be careful. And that's why we have to find other ways to fill the voids in our lives. We have to find ways to say, okay, I'm lonely, but what do I need to do? Let me just go out to Applebee's and talk. Listen, I went to Applebee's today for lunch with my mom after church, okay? Now, we in Applebee's, and I see somebody I know, I start yelling across the restaurant. Okay, I'm a friendly person. So I start yelling across the restaurant, hello, my dear, hi, darling, and she yells back at me. Then you got more people yelling at me, hello, remember the voice. And so I'm talking to everybody now because I'm that type of person. So I can go in and make me some quick friends. It doesn't matter where I am, because that's the type of person I am. Now, everybody don't have that demeanor, but I do. So I know what takes away from my loneliness. I know how to cure that at the time, because I can go somewhere and before I know it, I'm talking to everybody. Everybody knows I'm loved. I'm asking everybody, do you live in Portsmouth? And now we live in Suffolk. That's all right. And this is how I do. So I understand how to take away from my loneliness without making a person feel like I'm using them. And that's what most of us need to do. A lot of us need to do. We need to find some other way of filling a void in our lives when we know that we're not people, or not a people person, should I say. We got to find ways to fill these voids without stepping on somebody's heart. That's the best way to say it. You can't step on people's heart. You can't treat people any kind of way just to benefit yourself. You cannot be selfish with people. You can't do it. And there's so many people around here that do not care how you feel after they get what they want. So many people. And that's to do with more than just being lonely. That's the, more stuff with jobs, with clicks. Clicks use people just to get what they want, and then they drop you by the wayside. And a lot of people who desires to be loved or to have that friendship from the people in that clique, they stand there and wait to be called again and to be made to feel like they're worthless. Okay, let me put it out a little bit plainer, because for those that don't understand, you got a group of people over here that sticks together. Okay, I hope y'all can hear me. Let me check my thing, because people calling me. I don't know why they're calling me now. You have a group of people. Hold on. Because I'm trying to give y'all this thing here. I'm trying to give you this thing. You got a group of people on one side that makes all the rules, okay? Your friends, their friends or whatever, your co-workers, they stand in this group and they make all the rules. They make all the rules. Then you got the people over here that waits for them to invite them in to the group. It doesn't matter what they need for you to do. You're waiting to be invited in the group. Then after, what's up, man? I'm teaching. I'm talking. What's going on?
Why you call me back? You doing something?
Because you keep calling my other line.
I called you twice, so if you're doing something, I won't.
Oh, you want to call me back? All right, then. Love you. See you later. Thought it was an emergency. Okay, so you got the people over here waiting for the people in this group. Let me use my earring. This the group. That's the group. Looking so pretty and so fine and so polished, right? Colorful, aren't they? You got the people over here that's a little dull. They on the outside. They don't really do much, They don't know about much. But they're waiting over here on the outside, on the sideline for these people that's all colorful, because they want you to believe they somebody called tall corn. They waiting for them to call them and invite them over to the group. So the group decides, hey, we need more people to get this done. Let's call those on the sideline and make them think they're a part of our clique. And let's get them to do what we need them to do. And then we're going to send them on back until we need them again. But until then, they're going to think we cool. So they call you, hey, sideline people, come on over to our side. We need for y'all to do this, that, and the other. We need for y'all to spread this word around. We need for y'all to pass this stuff out. We need for y'all to set this up for us. And we're going to be so forever grateful to y'all. Y'all going to be a part of us. Once you do that, sideline people, once you set this up for them, once the event is over, they're going to kick you back over there to the sideline. You're back at the sideline waiting, telling your stories on how you're going to connect it with the colorful people over here with the beautiful sparkles. You're going to be telling your story on how, yeah, I know them and I did this and we did that. We didn't do nothing. They did it. You did the leg work. Okay? Because you a leg soldier. And that's all they looking at you as. And you're not going to be invited to the big parties or the private parties or the expensive parties. You're going to be waiting on the sideline for the next time that these tall corns, so they feel they are, call you and invite you over. Because you're being used. You're being used. Every time they need you, they come over or they send someone for you. But you can't come unless they send you, or they're going to be looking at you side-eye like, what are you doing here? You were not invited this time. Believe me when I tell you, that's why love don't go anywhere that love has not been invited. Trust and believe, if I'm in the room, I've received a personal invitation. I don't go anywhere that I'm not invited. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you invite me with a kind heart, for the most part, if I'm able, I'll be there. And this is what I'm saying, guys. Just because you're lonely, you cannot put yourself in all types of situations. You may be lonely, but don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. Find something for you to do. Do not allow someone to put you in a predicament where you are being used for their enjoyment. Don't do that to yourself, because you got to look yourself in the face years from now, days from now, hours, minutes from now, and love who you see, and love who has done whatever it is that they was going to have you done. You got to be proud of what you've done. You can't look yourself in the face and say, Lord, what did I let them people get me into? I feel like a fool. No, we're not going to be feeling like no fool around here. We're going to be able to look ourselves in the face proudly and say, you know what? I might be a little lonely, but I stood alone. I might be a little lonely, but I didn't bow down for a little temporary pleasure of having company. I might be a little lonely, but I'm not going to let anybody use me. I stand up for myself because I'm not going to fall for anything. So when you are lonely, and you know, sometimes you prefer to be alone because of those reasons, because you don't want to be used. And I say that, putting ourselves in that predicament so we can understand, don't use anybody else. Somebody might be lonely over here. Don't pull them to your side just to occupy what you need them to occupy. You don't need to push them back to a lonelier place. Let's not do that to each other. Let's love each other enough to not only respect ourselves, but to respect the other person as well. If you don't want to be a true friend, don't pull them in. Don't pull them in. If you need somebody to occupy something that you got missing in your life, you do it yourself. Take yourself to a restaurant. Eat out. Have y'all ever sat down and ate out? Got you a menu, ordered your food, got you a drink, sat in the back of that restaurant, that corner of that restaurant, and held your own conversation in private? You ain't got to move your mouth. You just look around. Look at that lady. Okay, let me see what she got going on. This is how I be talking to myself. Let me see what she got going on. Okay, now that man just went to the bathroom. And that, oh, Lord Jesus, she know him. She know him. See, and you're talking to yourself. And you ain't gossiping because you're talking to yourself. You ain't talking about anybody. You're talking to yourself. I do it. Listen. I learned how to do that when I was in the military, 18 when I got out of training. 18 years old, I'm in Hawaii, sitting in the restaurants by myself, having a good old time, conversating in my mind about the people around me, looking at the people on the beach, because I'm in Hawaii eating on the beach restaurants, and I'm just having me a good time. Until somebody that I want to be around comes around. And then, you know, it occupies some of my loneliness. And even then, I need time to myself. So what's to say? I was like, listen, let's you go here, I'm going here today, and blah, 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 and we'll meet up. We'll meet up. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to want to be alone. But you don't want to call on people to occupy your time when you don't want to be alone. People that you really don't want to be bothered with. Don't use anybody. I can't stand that. I can't stand for a person to use folks. I don't like it. And I don't like manipulation. I don't like it. And I know y'all wondering, who she thinks she is? Y'all don't know by now. I'm love. I'm love, and everything I say matters to me. Everything I say matters to me, just like everything you say should matter to you. Everything that you do should matter to you. The way that you're treated should matter to you. If you are treated like a peon, that should matter to you. That means somebody that does what they're told to do. Somebody that doesn't have a voice, a peon. Somebody basically that people don't feel matter. That should matter to you. And you shouldn't allow anybody to treat you like that. You shouldn't, no matter what. I don't care if you tell me, oh, love, I'm going to take you to dinner, and it's going to be the best dinner you ever had. And they know I like to eat. But I don't really care about all that. Because if you're going to disrespect me later, I don't need your dinner. I can eat me some beans and franks. I love beans and franks. Oh, my goodness. God knows I do. I love beans and franks. And if you don't have franks, just take some chop up some hamburger meat and put the hamburger meat in them beans. And if they not them special bush beans, put a little barbecue sauce up in a little mustard and whatnot, cut the gas and cook me some of that. And I'll be just fine without your fancy food because I'm not going to allow you to treat me like an option. Okay? We're not going to be treated like options now. That's one thing. I mean, we're in the 4th month of 2024. We are no longer going to be treated like options. We are no longer going to run behind people. We're no longer going to be suckers for love. No, if a person wants to be around you, make them earn your time. Make them earn your time. Make them show you that you are important to them. Not you're just a gadget to them. We're not playing that. We're not playing that in 2024. I know a lot of people tell you, a lot of people talk about love, L-O-V-E, which would be me. A lot of people talk about me because I don't take no tea for coffee. I wasn't raised that way. It's nothing that I wanted to develop about myself. I just wasn't raised that way. I was actually taught you don't take no tea for coffee. You don't take no wooden nickels. You're not going to do this. You don't need any friends. If the friends can't treat you the way you treat them, you don't need them. This is how I was raised. I was raised this way. So I'm telling you something that I've went through. And it works. Because at the end, even though your friends may be scarce, baby, your confidence level is going to be out of this world. It's going to be through the roof, baby. Up the ladder through the roof. You're going to have a confidence level that nobody can bring down. Do you know how many times that somebody has tried to pull my confidence level down from my hair, I even one time, I'm going to change because the lesson got to be taught. I had a fake ponytail in my hair, okay? In this case, y'all see how migrating hair is. Well, the ponytail was a little nappy, okay? So the ponytail didn't match my hair, which is normally vice versa. Normally, our hair don't match the ponytail because the ponytail be straight Asian hair. And so somebody was like, is that your hair, right? And I said, well, let so-and-so tell it it's my hair because I paid for it. Well, it don't even match your hair. So what? My hair is better than the ponytail hair. And you know what I said? Too bad for the ponytail. You know what I'm saying? Just people would do anything to try to crush your spirits. But don't let them know who you are, know your worth, know that it's okay to be by yourself, and do not let anybody bring down your confidence. Nobody should have that much power. Nobody should have that much power over you. I'm telling you, let all this foolishness go. And sometimes we have to let these so-called relationships go as well. Listen, I'm going to tell you like a TIE is like I always do. Okay? We are not going to be options anymore. No, we're not. If people choose to not be around us, so may it be. They won't be around us. But there's no coming back. Because when you come back, I'm going to charge you triple. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Make sure you love yourself so you can go on and love someone else properly. Until we shall meet again, may you be tremendously blessed.